Hello everyone and now welcome to a game between Lingua, Guagua, and Sock. This game taking place here on Tide Hunters. We have Lingua Guagua spawning as the blue orc over here at what I will call the 5 o'clock position, going up against Sock, who is the red human over here on the top left hand side of the map. Archmage going up against Farseer. No big surprises any longer as the Archmage going to go ahead and begin his creeping pattern. Meanwhile, Farseer looking to do a little bit of an easier creeping pattern, going after the giant sea turtle and this sea turtle off over here first, not having any additional units ready as we're still looking to train that first headhunter. Alright, the militia clear always a little bit helpful as that last forest troll trapper getting taken down. Archmage drops another water elemental, and while using the first water elemental to tank damage, the second water elemental will be there to support with additional damage, as well as a low hit point water elemental does the same amount of damage as a full hit point water elemental as noted. Alright, last little Murloc gonna get taken down here. A couple of Tide Warriors, all that are left, taking down that healer, always important as we see two Murlocs left here. Archmage will stay at level 2, but with that Brilliance Aura already off to a very fine opening. Now, coming back, Guagua, however, going to try and gain a little bit of experience from long distance experience gain, and now perhaps try and take down, get some damage here. Does not have chain lightning as of yet. I wouldn't imagine that Farsight would actually be used anywhere. Yeah, I think someone had actually asked me what would be the way to actually get players to use Farsight as one of those abilities, and I would say increase the amount of damage that the Farseer does by like 2. Give him like a 2 auto attack damage upgrade every time, and that may actually be enough for in addition to Farsight, but I don't know if that would ever actually work in terms of game balancing and all that. All right, Snarecaster going to take quite a bit of damage here. Meanwhile, Headhunters and what added out, we're going to see a couple of these Murlocs getting taken down as a Farseer now has +5 claws of attack and 2 gauntlets of Ogre Strength +3, giving him 675 hit points, even though he's only at level 2. So rather high on hit points already early on. And if this is something that you don't keep track of in your own games, you may think that the Farseer is low on hit points. Try and focus him down, and then realize, wait, he has 150 more hit points than I thought he would. But, well, a quick surround on a Grunt could spell some big problems there. Footman going to get taken down, and a Grunt going to get taken down as well. Both sides still fighting through low hit point. Footman trying to retreat back. It is going to break away from those Spirit Wolves. Spirit Wolves, however, should be able to catch up. One Spirit Wolf needs 2 more or 3 hits to try and finish it off and decides against it. Footman now with Defend trying to go back and chase after those Headhunters as the Archmage is still sitting at level 2 but getting awfully close to level 3. Tech to tier 2 nearly done for Sock. Meanwhile, Lingua Guagua already done there as the Archmage is pushing in with triple water elementals, but this push is going to be running out of steam momentarily as the Archmage is already low on mana, and without a level up to level 3, well, he's going to be hurting quite a bit. Farseer now picked up a whole bunch of items back at the Voodoo Lounge, going to be able to heal up many of those units, but we also see a Goblin Tinker being added as a second hero. So trying to hire up a tavern hero early on to try and put down the pressure while he has the advantage, and we may see some Clockwork Goblins. Now, no, this is not going to be Clockwork Goblins, this is going to be rockets. A couple of rockets being thrown down there to try and stop and stun that bit of damage. Orc Burrow could end up getting taken down. Orc Burrows are incredibly important as they allow for the training of additional units. Now seeing that 31 supply over 31 supply. Footman was still with plenty of defend as the Goblin Tinker now tries to back away. Where is that Archmage going? Archmage taking a little bit too much damage as well, as we're going to look at the Tauren Chieftain perhaps with Endurance Aura or Stomp to try and stun down some of these units. Goblin Tinker still running around here. A little bit of stun and damage across multiple units of another Headhunter could get taken down. Headhunter down to 25 hit points. One more attack from the Footman as they run inside the base here as it gets taken down too. All right, units are going to try and retreat back out. More damage onto the Orc Burrow. Meanwhile, Archmage is going to be able to easily get away, but he's the one with the Scroll of Town Portal. Are we going to see another Orc Burrow being lost? 29 supply over 31. There's another round of those rockets to try and stun things up, but the Goblin Tinker, this may be too much of an all-in committal by Sock, as we're still looking at the units trying to retreat back here. A lot of repairs underway. Lumber may be a bit of a problem, as well as footmen are now trying to retreat back as well. All right, a lot of Orc Burrows trying to retreat back out, sitting at 31 over 41 supply as that Orc Burrow is now completed. All right, Orc Burrow completed. Level 2 Archmage, very close to level 3. Perhaps going to try and finish off this Headhunter here. Archmage off to the races to try and take down this unit. One more shot should do it. That will give level 3 to the Archmage, and that's exactly what you don't want to see, giving your opponent that odd level, that odd hero level, as the odd hero level does significantly give a power spike overall. Level 2 water elemental significantly stronger than level 1, able to absorb more damage and just being given more utility as well. Sorceresses being thrown in amongst the mist on this dual Arcane Sanctum strategy coming in from Sock. We don't see a Blacksmith as of yet, so it looks like it could be Spellbreakers instead of a Rifleman. Meanwhile, the Goblin Tinker looking to get in a bit of experience too, and creeping away from that Archmage to try and gather all that experience by himself. That also means he doesn't have Brilliance Aura, nor does the rest of his casters have Brilliance Aura, so they may be low on mana a little bit later. Farseer joining in on the creeping in the middle portion of the map, trying to gain experience for that Tauren Chieftain, who will get to level 2, and the Tauren Chieftain with double gauntlets of Ogre Strength plus 3 now transferred from that Farseer is a beautifully strong, tanky frontline hero, able to absorb a large amount of damage while stunning those around him. Coming back through, all right, Goblin Tinker looking to finish off this Gargantuan Sea Turtle creep camp. One low hit point footman is going to end up surviving, absorbing a little bit of damage, also able to reflect back some of that damage too, as the giant sea turtles do deal piercing damage. All right, ensnare onto the Archmage. Archmage going to try to simply run on over. There's another purge as well. There's a stomp. Archmage going to be in trouble, down to 330 hit points. 308. Is he going to use a Scroll of Town Portal to try and get out? There's a quick stun, trying to get the units. One priest may be left behind. Is going to be a little bit too far. No, able to get all of those units close by and together. Back off to the north here, Archmage and Goblin Tinker both sitting at level 3 now. A large number of items on that Archmage: Circlet of Nobility, Ring of Regeneration, Claws of Attack +5, overall for +10 bonus damage. Meanwhile, Goblin Tinker, Potion of Greater Healing and a Potion of Mana, as they're going to try and branch out here. Army size is about the same, 47 to 41, as Lingua looking to set up an expansion of his own. All right, a little bit of potential creepjack here. Spellbreakers joining in on the fight as they receive a long-distance stun. That stun right there was absolutely stunning, taking down, being able to get a handful of those units, and that stun, that AoE stun, almost being used as a Frost Nova ability from a human, from an undead player trying to pick off trailing units instead of just using a stun from a Stormbolt, being able to use those rockets to take down multiple units. Beautiful, beautiful transition there. Sock having a 10 supply lead over Lingua right now, as the Tauren Chieftain and Farseer getting into position once more. Tauren Chieftain will get to level 3. Farseer still staying at level 3 after this, Gargantuan, or this little creep camp here. Tauren Chieftain also picking up a Health Stone in addition to all of his survivability items, the Gauntlets of Ogre Strength +3 and that Scroll of Healing should make a very big impact, as still no one has any expansions just quite yet. All right, guard towers or scout towers trying to be placed down here. Tauren Chieftain trying to come around the side, may be able to do exactly that. Easy damage onto the Altar of Kings. Lightning Shield onto a Grunt, running onto the inside to just stand next to all of these workers. That could spell some really big problems there as repairs are underway. Scroll of Town Portal. Sock perhaps not expecting this large attack from Lingua as the army Scrolls of Town Portals inside. All right, there's a big stun there. Our units are still trying to retreat back. Where is the Goblin Tinker going to try and go to next, perhaps trying to take down a handful of units as the Farseer is going to be able to easily escape. Goblin Tinker sitting at level 3, almost at level 4. The next round of that clockwork upgrades going to be important. New ivory towers being placed down here. Sock needing to replace many of his workers, only down to 5 workers after that exchange there. And now Lingua taking a big bite out of, well, Sock's infrastructure and getting a little bit of experience as well. Goblin Tinker gets up to level 4. Archmage really wants to get to level 4 too, to get that level 2 Brilliance Aura across multiple units. Is a Goblin Tinker still absorbing quite a bit of experience? Yes, he is. And that seems to be deliberate, even though it doesn't quite make that much sense. Sock does need to purchase up a Scroll of Town Portal and pick up a Clarity Potion to replenish a lot of lost mana. Coming back through, Footman making sure that there are no expansions out, just trying to have good map awareness. Farseer, Tauren Chieftain getting awfully close to level 4 as well, as the Goblin Tinker is currently invisible and may be able to get off some surprising stuns. Alright, Shaman in transit. Is it going to get easily taken out? Yes, it is. That Shaman going to be easily taken down here. No, the Shaman just hiding around. Is he going to get a Goblin Zeppelin? That is the question, as the Shaman now trying to run all the way in the back here. Shaman currently just hiding in the back and get a little bit of additional damage. Archmage going to finish off that Shaman as the Goblin Tinker takes this opportunity to clear out this Rock Golem creep camp. Thank you, or hello, Dust Wallow Dweller. Alright, quick stun there. Rock Golem could end up getting taken down. Archmage is going to get the experience. Are they going to be able to finish it off? Archmage does get to level 4. Who's going to pick up the Robe of Magi? It is the Goblin Tinker. So Goblin Tinker takes the powerful item as well, getting that Robe of Magi +6 before the Scroll of Town Portal moved them away. Goblin Tinker with over 500 mana. Archmage with level 2 Brilliant Aura, ready to get back, well, ready to not give Lingua too many opportunities. Lingua has been behind throughout this match, but has really caught up here and has now taken the lead away from his opponent as the Farseer and now the Tauren Chieftain with invisibility. Well, that Tauren Chieftain may be able to get down a couple of useful stomps and stuns along that back line. Army size 39 supply compared to 37. Water Elemental going to stop this Great Hall from being constructed once more. Peon being forced to retreat back as the Tauren Chieftain, well, the Raiders just getting in some easy damage. No pillage from these Raiders or Grunts, as we could be going into some hit and run tactics. Voodoo Lounge quickly going to be taken down as well. Spellbreaker's trying to finish things off, but the Raiders should be able to win out on this battle, as they're the ones dealing siege damage and can do it faster against all of these fortified buildings. All right, more damage coming across. One Footman trying to line up and take down multiple units again. There goes another round of those rockets, but dodging are those peons who will quickly just run on inside. All right. Farsight level 1 instead of Wolves level 2. Alright, I take it back. Apparently Farsight is still semi-useful, as we're going to see a stomp right there. Tauren Chieftain tries to get a stomp, only gets one sorceress there. A little bit of unfortunate, as the Tauren Chieftain was not able to land next to all of those casters, as the units are now trying to retreat back. Alright, we're going to see a little bit of healing. There's a little bit of hurt, as we see a stun there. Goblin Tinker turning back around, able to stun back more units, as the Archmage and the Goblin Tinker try to retreat. 49 supply compared to 43, but the army of Lingua just seems to be in better positioning, able to engage, as they're still trailing Spellbreakers who could easily get taken down. Stun onto the Archmage. Archmage could be in a little bit of trouble. Once again, as we're looking at the Goblin Tinker continuing to fight back and forth, there goes another Raider and trying to throw down a couple of those ensnares. Wanda Mana Stealing has mana, but not going to be able to throw down a stomp as of yet. Farseer looking for that engagement, finishes off another sorceress. There goes another stun and snare onto the Goblin Tinker. Tinker is in trouble. Scroll of Town Portal is transferred, but he is stunned and he gets taken down. All right, a beautiful, beautiful turnaround. Lingua taking down a level 4 Goblin Tinker and still smelling blood on the Archmage, who does not have a Scroll of Town Portal, as it was given to the Goblin Tinker, who was unable to use it. There's a little bit more damage right there, trying to add in damage. Once more Scroll of Town Portal, however, from the Goblin Tinker, resurrected at the tavern, as the Archmage was able to quickly catch up and retreat back home. Beautiful play there, In order to minimize losses, the Goblin Tinker, resurrected back at the tavern, quickly uses that Scroll of Town Portal, and in the process saves the Archmage. 41 supply compared to 42. Farseer with that Farsight, getting information on where exactly his opponent is and knows where to attack. All right, I was mentioning earlier that oftentimes professional players don't use or don't select Farsight. Instead, in this matchup here, we see that the Spirit Wolves were chosen at level 1 and then not chosen at level 4, or level 3 or level 4, opting for Farsight instead. We've often seen humans with spellbreakers going for control magic, and with control magic, able to turn those wolves against their owners. As we're now going to be looking at level 3, most likely level 3 chain lightning. So level 3 chain lightning, level 1 wolves, which aren't even being used any longer, and that Farsight as well to keep track of where his opponent is and whether or not expansions are currently up and operational. Farsight also counters the Sorceress's invisibility. Yeah, that is the case. And the Farsight is also useful out of combat, as he is constantly able to reveal whether his opponent has expansions and where his opponent is hiding. Tauren Chieftain is at 5. Farseer is at 5, going up against 4-4. Going into this engagement, beautiful long-distance stun, stunning down multiple units as the Water Elemental is able, just getting purged and destroyed. Tauren Chieftain trying to lead the charge here, but there are so many Spellbreakers. There's a Stomp, but no one, well, it's like my children, and I put my foot down and my children just don't care. As the Tauren Chieftain now backs away. All right, more militia engaging in that frontline spot. Tauren Chieftain trying to dive in on that back line, but it just isn't working. Potion of Invulnerability may need to be used. He actually dropped a potion of Gauntlets of Ogre Strength before using a potion of healing, and now trying to make his way back out, but another stun comes across here. Sok with a beautiful micro in this matchup, and the Tauren Chieftain with no easy stomp targets, having a bit of problems as a potion of lesser invulnerability used in time before the stun from the Goblin Tinker. Sok clearly the victor in that battle there, as he takes the supply lead and was able to catch his opponent off guard there once more. Tauren Chieftain, low on mana, low on hit points, has to be careful. Are we going to see a stun onto the Tauren Chieftain? No, we are not, as we're looking at ensnares and a couple of stuns being landed down again. Farseer, a Chain Lightning bouncing around that back line can easily destroy a back line, as the Spellbreakers, who normally have the more hit points, are invulnerable to that Chain Lightning and can't even be targeted by it. Another across multiple units, and this is one of those situations where you think Shockwave may have been better, as it's able to actually finish off a couple of those units in the back. 2 Sorceresses getting taken down right there, with the Kodo Beast still being digested, or still digesting a Spellbreaker. Kodo Beast making its way back around Spellbreakers, heading on. Spellbreaker enjoying the inside of a belly and offering a bit of insight to where for the rest of that army. What is Sok going to do? That is the question. Spellbreakers, priest, sorceresses, all making their way over. One arcane tower here, not really protecting anything at all, just perhaps giving in a little bit of insight. Meanwhile, the Tauren Chieftain is sitting at level 5, does have a potion of invisibility, and is once more going to try to go for that same strategy again. Now, cluster rockets coming behind, catching these units off guard, and that's exactly what that Spellbreaker is hearing and giving insight to. Goblin Tinker could be in trouble, down to 400 hit points. He is ensnared and has nowhere to go. Scroll of Town Portal quickly being used. Stomp, a split second late, that could have perhaps shut down the Goblin Tinker completely if he was unable to use a Scroll of Town Portal. Secret Spy Breaker, yep. But, well, Kodo Beast still ends up, looks like he's going to end up digesting that target here in just a moment. Guagua has fallen behind once more on the supply count. 39 supply compared to 50. 44 supply army compared to 30. And there's not that many workers on a lumber for Sok. And by not many, there is none at all. Sok has no... has one worker on lumber, and that is it. So he may be low on workers or low on lumber in just a little bit. Meanwhile, Goblin Tinker of Sok looking to get to level 5 and will be able to get there pretty easily. finishing off this last Murloc and now trying perhaps back away to give a little bit of experience to the Archmage, but that still hasn't happened. Archmage, Farseer both sitting at 5. Halfway to level 6 pretty much. Meanwhile, Goblin Tinker just got to 5. Archmage just got to is still sitting at 4, as we could be looking at some aggression here inside the main base. What is happening? Raider is going to go ahead and ensnare, finish off this last sorceress pretty easily. Meanwhile, inside the Orc base, we are already seeing pressure being added in. Orc Burrow being brought on over. What is going on? Or a Goblin Tinker not going in for the attacks at all, as that would be a telltale sign that that is just an illusion. All right. Maybe he should be attacking, though. That seems like an obvious something is wrong with that Goblin Tinker, especially, well, there's a Purge, going to go ahead and easily finish it down, sees that it absorbs too much damage just by being purged when you shouldn't take any damage whatsoever. All right, Goblin Tinker now making its way back over. Well, Wand of Illusion still used right there. Goblin Tinker is going to try and end up getting stunned down. There's the ensnare onto a Tinker right there. There's a Purge, and quickly realizes that it isn't real. Goblin Tinker shows up the rockets, but quickly gets stunned by the Tauren Chieftain, who was invisible as well. All right, Scroll of Town Portal now transferred to the Goblin Tinker. Goblin Tinker trying to retreat back. He does have a get out of jail free card, but, well, he may need it momentarily as he uses a Scroll of Town Portal. Chain Lightning still bouncing around. Lightning Shield being brought onto the Water Elemental. And is that going to kill anything? No, it is not. A quick Dispel Magic to remove that Lightning Shield that could have possibly taken out a Goblin Tinker and some other units as well. This is being beautifully played by Lingua so far, and there's been a lot of lead changes back and forth. Archmage, what is he going to do? Is he going to try and picks up a potion of lesser invulnerability and now going to retreat back? Farseer sitting at level 5, Tauren Chieftain sitting at level 5, and we are establishing up a Great Hall by Lingua over here on the bottom left. Meanwhile, no more mining whatsoever, so what you see is what you're going to get, and Sok does have a slightly larger army, but we could be looking at, trying to mine a way down over here to the south. That is going to be some key plays too. Kodo Beast, well, there is a Spellbreaker in the belly. He doesn't want to walk over to his expansion and reveal it to his opponent, as we are only looking at the level 1 upgrades on those War Drums, not the improved War Drums, for a bit more damage. Tauren Chieftain ready once more. Oh, dodging the rockets as they come raining down. Kodo Beast trying to come across here, as we're going to see a quick purge there. Those purges and all of that experience from those water elementals could end up turning into a resurrecting Tauren Chieftain, which is absolutely scary. There is a stomp there trying to go after, as the Archmage may be forced to use the Scroll of Town Portal. Invisibility there. Are we going to see a use of Sight? No, stomp, another split second late. Chain Lightning trying to bounce around. Lightning Shield being used. Goblin Tinker, is it going to finish off any of those priests? Quickly dispels it once more. Meanwhile, a bunch of peons has walked across the map to try and deal damage to these barracks. That's not going to be a good sign whatsoever. Tauren Chieftain sitting at level 5. Are we going to see some Chain Lightning, Lightning Shield to rack up a little bit more damage, finishing off some of those units? Chain Lightning bouncing around once more. There goes another one, and there goes another one. Farseer 6 experience away from that next level. Meanwhile, all right, Sok finding this expansion at just the right time, going to try and finish it off here. There goes a little bit of damage. Spellbreaker's Tauren Chieftain now trying to make its way back over. Great Hall down to 600 hit points and dropping very, very quickly, wanting to make sure that gets taken down. Tauren Chieftain throws in a stomp along the backside as it stuns down many of those units. Level 6 now onto that Farseer, as the Tauren Chieftain could have a potion of invulnerability used in time and does do exactly that. Can he finish off any of those units? Trying to take this down. Level 6 on the Tauren Chieftain would completely change things around. Potion of Mana, why isn't it being used? There's the Kodo Beast, there's the reveal, there's the invisibility. Tauren Chieftain could try and take him down a little bit. No, Potion of Invulnerability at the last moment. Tauren Chieftain now is in a little bit of trouble, as the Tauren Chieftain now down to 94 hit points, perhaps expecting to actually level up to avoid. And now that Goblin Tinker has run off to the north, able to get away. Farseer's Farsight finds it, gets the Chain Lightning, but the Tauren Chieftain was too far away, giving all the experience to the Farseer. Farseer still going after the Archmage, but that was still enough. Lingua comes out at the very end, taking out Sok in this matchup here. A beautiful game going back and forth. that Tauren chieftain, if it was a little bit closer to that Goblin Tinker falling, would have been a definite, immediate GG. But still, Sok recognized the writing on the wall, recognized the hero experience difference, and gave the GG to Lingua. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.